That was a flashback.
Welcome to the All Things Fun Vidcast. They're just all doing their little thing. We're talking about titles that released today, Wednesday, June 22nd, 2011. My name's Ed Evans. I'm here with my co-hosts Allison Eckel and Glenn Walker, who apparently do not listen to each other when they speak.
Happy Dead Spider Day.
There you go, and to you as well.
It's the what?
Happy Dead Spidey Day.
Happy Dead Spidey Day.
Happy Dead
Well, yeah, Marvel.
Spidey Day.
There it is.
Yay.
Yeah. Marvel went on record, and they were so happy with the death of the Human Torch that they want to kill one character a quarter. So,
Not killing
They're
them
gonna
fast
be out of
enough, as far
business
as I'm
pretty
concerned.
well, they bring him back.
Oh,
Anyway,
right.
stays dead or anything.
No, they don't have Dan Didio. Dead is dead.
Right.
Yeah.
This is dead is good till
Dead is good sales.
next quarter. Yes.
Yeah.
So so happy Dead Spidey Day. So what are we opening?
Spidey will be
guys?
back at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next week. Next new
I think
comic.
we
day.
opened with that.
I think we did.
Oh, we're opening with that?
Well, you might as
you
well.
already, you know.
Yeah, well, it was busted open by the New York Post earlier this morning. Spider-Man is dead. Nice black poly bag with
Seen that before.
red symbol. Yeah, it looks so familiar. Of course, what the Post doesn't push is that it's Ultimate Spider-Man. It's not the real Spider-Man.
Which is printed on
Yeah.
the bag.
I'll tell you honestly, a lot of people are going to be running out to buy this book, one would assume. And Bendis is a good writer. One of his better books that I'm not going to complain about is Ultimate Spider-Man. But the story leading up to it is just confusing as hell.
I was okay with it.
Okay, Ed, tell me honestly, you come in to buy this book,
Yeah.
are you going to understand what's going on? Because I looked
Sure.
at this part before it. Avengers versus New Ultimates in the Ultimate Universe, issue
That's
number
not-
5.
That's not actually the part before it.
But it's part of it.
Must be why you're confused.
Well, this says part 5 of 6,
Of Avengers New Ultimates.
and it's part of Ultimate Death of Spider-Man.
Right. Much like the confusing DC comics where they put the Green Lantern thing on top of everything. Any book remotely involved with Death of Spider-Man gets that masthead.
Okay, well, let me just say right out, other than the Neil Yu, the art looking great, I don't understand anything that's going on in this. And I like the Avengers.
Have you read any of them before that?
1 or 2.
Okay, just making sure.
Because I'm not even sure who some of the characters are.
See, one of these
That
days
might
we'll sit
be
down
you, though.
together and I'll flip through for you and walk you
But
through.
my question is, if someone comes in off the street after reading the newspaper, seeing the news, buy Death of Spider-Man.
They'll be less confused than you, I'd venture a guess.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
because I think the last issue...
We'll roll with it, sure.
Yeah, the last issue of Spider-Man had this great big fight sequence. And clearly, I mean, I haven't read the book yet, but it sounds like it just doesn't go well for him. So this would be this, I suspect, inside that cover is going to be this great big battle royale.
It's not a copy of GI Combat, right?
No.
Okay.
Yes, so you're going to open that up and it's going to be Death of Human
It's going to be
Torch.
Reverse Flash number 2.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Flashpoint book, and they'll be fine. So it's not so bad. I think the problem that you're having is, and it's a fair one, is that they put that mask on so many books, it's hard to figure out what order to read them in, and that is really difficult to do. Because if you try to juggle them all and you miss even a single piece, the whole cohesive picture is messed up. I've kind of focused on Ultimate Spider-Man, and the ride's been pretty good. I have to admit, I haven't been doing a lot of the other stuff.
The story sounds quite good. The rationalization for the death and what comes after
Right?
a new Spider-Man seems really cool.
Knock on wood.
Yes.
Which is not actually wood, but... So,
And
yeah.
for the most part, like I said, Bendis on Ultimate Spider-Man, he's actually a very good writer.
Yeah, but I will definitely agree with you. When you try to mix it up with all the different titles that had Death of Spider-Man on top, it can be a little bit of a
But
confusing river.
correct me if I'm wrong, Avengers versus New Ultimates it does happen in that, right? It's part of it.
It's ancillary. There was a big crossover, like 2 issues back, with 2 of the other titles. So there's 3 title crossover, where Spider-Man took a bullet. But that was like the first spell in this whole thing.
Okay.
So now you kind of see it happening, but Spidey breaks off to deal with all his villains, while the Ultimates and the Avengers and all this other stuff's going over here. He just took his first wound in those books, and now he's kind of over here, and then now they've reacted
And
to what's going
they're
on.
just catching in on it later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Largely so. They're like, look what's going on over there. Yeah.
All right, just checking.
Yep, that's fair. So what else you guys got?
Is there any other big event or news or anything going on in comics?
Why no?
What's going on at DC?
They seem very quiet.
You don't hear anything over there.
It's just sarcasm.
So I get to talk?
Sure. Go for it.
I'll even listen.
Take notes.
So we do have Flashpoint continuing. Yes, yes. More pins? We have more pins?
We have more pins this week.
We have more.
So which books you have there?
We have probably Lois Lane and the Resistance.
Yes, that has got a cool pin.
Awesome. This is fun. We're going to jump around a little bit within the Flashpoint timeline and go back to the sinking of Paris and what Lois was doing at that point and how she ends up in the Amazonian-controlled UK of New Themyscira?
New Themyscira.
Skira, okay. I didn't know if that C was hard or soft.
Themyscira.
When I read it, it's always softer. But we also have Flashpoint Kid Flash Lost.
Yeah.
What happened to him before Barry realized the time change?
Cool stuff in that book.
So that I haven't flipped through that. I flipped through Lois Lane. I haven't flipped through this one yet. We also have this one's
Yep.
Glenn's. You want to talk about this one?
I liked it.
Flashpoint, The Outsider.
Also a pin book.
The
I haven't
Outsider
figured out who
Rabbit.
he is yet. Is this somebody we know?
The
But something different
original
has happened?
the original Outsider used to be Alfred. We don't know
Okay.
who this guy is yet, but he pretty much just drills through the Japanese superheroes.
Okay. I hate when that happens.
So do they.
Yeah, sure. And we have Flashpoint Reverse Flash #1. We've been having some discussion here about whether this is one of 3 as it's printed on the cover, or whether this is a one-shot as it was originally solicited. We haven't been able to figure that out yet, so there's a
But
mystery.
it's a great story.
But it's a good story. Hopefully this starts to fill in some of the mysterious holes in our story about what's going on. He is, the Reverse Flash is supposed to be responsible for this whole big changed alternate timeline thing that's going on.
We get a little more background on him.
But it's still early in the Flashpoint run. I'm sure we don't get too many answers yet.
And it's in all likelihood a one-shot because there was no pin for it, like for the miniseries, and they have these big red letters says the end on the last page.
Yeah. He wouldn't let us see what the last page actually had on it. We haven't looked yet.
You know, except for the words
That's right,
the
if
end.
you
I'm going to look right now.
All right. I'd
On
rather read
camera.
it. I would
Punk.
rather read it. Don't show me. So also with big occurrences, what we've got here.
No, it's full circle. We know about that.
Okay. Superman. I want to talk about Superman. Love Superman. We've got, we've all been reeling, I've been reeling from the news that they're going to restart Action Comics along with Superman and a whole bunch of other things in September. But until that happens, of course, we're running out some stories, some good, some long, that we've been dealing with. We have, of course, Action Comics 902, Reign of the Doomsdays continues. Paul Cornell is still writing it. We've got some continuing the big throwdowns between Doomsday and Superman and all the other S.H.I.E.L.D. heroes.
I want to note that it seems like the Doomsday thing is like never ending and it goes on and on and on forever. And it's like you look at it and it's like, please make this stop.
Yeah.
But this was a pleasure to read.
Yeah.
Paul Cornell is that good.
And it will continue through the summer. It continues. You'll get a few more installments of this story continuing, and different things are going to happen to different characters. And yeah, and then it's all going to somehow go back to #1 in September.
That's right. You'll have an Action Comics #1, and this time don't let your mom throw it away.
Yes.
That's my big advice to everybody.
Because it's going to be so valuable.
But this is a story worth following for the rest of the summer. Okay. But, okay, we're almost up on a year ago when they started Superman with his, what I call post-traumatic stress syndrome of losing New Krypton, when he started Grounded in his big walk across the country. What I think that started out as a really great idea. I think a full year was misguided, personally. Although we might change our minds when we get to sit down and read it all at one shot in some collected edition that is inevitable. But today is supposed to be Superman 712, and the description of it online is that it's yet another grounded story where he meets a new hero and he tries to help this new hero combat persecution. On the cover, however, is Crypto in Kansas. This is not written by the Grounded creative team, and it's not at all that story.
It's a cool story, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great little story about Crypto, written by Kurt Busiek, and we're just not quite sure what happened. Honestly, I'm kind of happy
Yeah.
to have a break from Grounded, I have to say.
This sometimes happens where they'll have a story sitting out there for whatever reason, they have to switch content at the last minute.
Maybe something didn't come in on time.
Yeah, or they just decided to make a change, and
Some editor said, "Are we still doing this?"
Yeah, or maybe they had to make sure it ended in August in Seattle, where it's
Right.
supposed to end, so that they are lined up for the rejigger in September with Superman #1.
trying desperately to trademark that.
You
for
better
Jigger,
put a
right?
trademark on it.
She's trying desperately.
Rejigger
I
trademark.
love
on
that,
it.
because DC doesn't claim it's a reboot, right?
It's a refresh. Refresh.
Anyway,
It's a
more on that
marketing
later.
campaign.
More on that
It's
later.
not a reboot.
Good, so shall I let someone else go now?
Go ahead, Glenn. What do you got?
But Ed, you have so many wonderful things over there.
I do, and you know what? We're gonna
Are we
take a
done?
minute here. We are done with the first
Whoa,
segment
we're
so
done.
fast.
We
yeah.
didn't even get a finger.
I know. So we're just gonna. Oh, you'll get the finger, Glenn. So we're gonna take a second here.
They have no idea what
That's
you're
right.
talking about.
We're gonna take a break here, and we'll come right back with more of new comics here at the All Things Fun Vidcast right after this.